stop scrolling, because houses in Tuscany are selling for just $29,000. And that's not clickbait. These are all real homes in beautiful Italian villages at prices that honestly shouldn't exist anymore. Imagine green hills, cypress-lined roads, stone towns frozen in time. And somehow you can still buy into that life for less than a car. Today, I've lined up 7 dirt cheap houses for renovation in Tuscany, starting at just $29,000, and trust me, they only get crazier from here. I saved the absolute best for last. So stay with me, because you are absolutely going to love today's video. Property number 1, and this one already sets the tone. 29,000 euros, that's roughly $33,500 for a detached house in Tuscany. Mulazana sits in the Lucchesia hills of northwestern Tuscany, a rugged and largely undiscovered corner of the region where medieval stone villages cling to forested ridgelines, and the Sarajio River Valley stretches out below in a wide, dramatic sweep. This is not the postcard Tuscany full of wine tourists and boutique hotels. This is the one that locals actually live in, where the summers are warm but not punishing. The winters are crisp and clear, and the stone architecture looks like it grew directly out of the hillside. The municipality of Mulazana is a scattering of ancient hamlets, most of them barely touched by modern development, which is exactly why prices here can still genuinely surprise you. The surrounding landscape is a mix of chestnut forest, open ridgeline, and terraced hillside that in spring turns every shade of green you've ever seen. There's a quietness here that people in cities pay thousands of dollars a week to borrow for a vacation, and these listings are offering you a permanent address in it. It's the kind of place where you open the shutters in the morning and stand there for a minute longer than you planned, every single day. We're talking about a 160 square meter property. That's about 1,722 square feet. On 2 floors in Sassi, in the municipality of Mulazana, a quiet panoramic setting that already sounds like a movie set. From the outside, this is a proper detached stone house, with a private courtyard of 20 square meters quadruple exposure, meaning sun hits it from basically every direction, and the kind of position that gives you that classic Tuscan "I can't believe this is real" feeling. Inside you've got 5 rooms spread across 2 floors, a living room, a kitchenette, 4 large bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a tavern space with a fireplace, and a cellar. That's a lot of house. Now here's where I keep it real with you, because that's the deal. This one needs a complete renovation, and the utilities are currently disconnected. According to the listing, this is a full project property, so go in with eyes open and a budget for the work. But, and this is the kicker, 160 square meters of Tuscan detached house with a fireplace, a tavern, a cellar, and a courtyard for under $34,000. That's the entry point. That is the floor of this list. And the best part is, the layout is already there. You know, the bones, the character, the rooms. You're not reinventing the floor plan, you're bringing it back to life. This is for the builder, the dreamer, the person who wants maximum raw material for minimum cash. Now, if that made you raise an eyebrow, the next one is going to keep you watching, because we just went up 6,000 euros and gained a completely different situation. 35,000 euros, about $41,000, and now we're in the Casentino borderlands, Montolone area, municipality of Pieve Santo Stephano. Pieve Santo Stephano sits at the upper reaches of the Arno River Valley, right on the border between Tuscany and Umbria, in a landscape of dense chestnut forest, open ridgelines, and valleys that feel genuinely remote, even though you're only a couple of hours from Florence. The town itself is small and unpretentious, built in the local gray stone that blends into the hillside, and it carries the quiet dignity of a place that's been doing its own thing for centuries without needing anyone's approval. The climate here is mountain-influenced. Real winters, spectacular springs, and summers that stay cooler than the Tuscan plains, which makes it a particularly interesting option for people who want Italy but don't want to bake from June to September. The sanctuary of Laverna, just a few kilometers away, draws a steady trickle of visitors year-round, which means the local economy has a pulse, even in the off-season. Architecturally, the area is dominated by solid stone farmhouses and detached village houses that were built to last, and most of them have, which is exactly why renovation projects here tend to start with good bones already in place. The roads are functional, the views are genuinely cinematic, and the sense of space you get here is something you simply cannot buy in any city for any amount of money. This is a 110 square meter detached house, about 1,184 square feet, on 2 floors, and the layout here is actually really functional. Ground floor has an entrance hall, a large living room, an eat-in kitchen, a storage room, and a garage. Go upstairs and you've got a hallway, 3 double bedrooms, and a bathroom. There's also attic space used for storage. And then, the listing notes an exclusive 800 square meters of private land. That's nearly 8,611 square feet, close to a fifth of an acre. That's a proper garden, or a small orchard, or both. The property does require renovation work, as the listing describes it, so again, this is a project. But it's a coherent, usable project, with a garage already included and 800 square meters of outdoor space that gives you room to breathe and build something personal. For 35,000 euros in this part of Tuscany, that's a land plus house deal that most people don't even know exists. Comment below if you'd pick this one as a project. I'm curious who's drawn to the land situation here. And subscribe if you want more finds like this, because we're only getting started. Because now at Property 3, the leader just changed. 50,000 euros, $58,000, and we've jumped into the Tuscan Apennines, up at around 600 meters above sea level, in the medieval village of Villa Sarajio. Villa Sarajio sits in the heart of the Garfagnana, one of the least touristed and most dramatically beautiful subregions of Tuscany, where the Apennine Mountains rise sharply on both sides, and the forests close in around ancient stone villages that feel frozen in the best possible way. The architecture here is dark granite and local stone, thick-walled and built for altitude. These are houses that were designed to handle real weather, real winters, and real life, which means the structures tend to be genuinely solid even when they need cosmetic attention. The Orecchiella Natural Park is 8 kilometers away, a protected wilderness of alpine meadows, rare wildlife, and hiking trails that draws visitors from across Italy without ever feeling overrun. In summer, the temperatures are pleasantly cool. In autumn, the forest turns amber and gold, and in winter, the village gets a stillness that is either deeply peaceful or deeply satisfying, depending on what you came here for. The road access is real. You can get here by car without drama. And the sense of community in these small Garfagnana villages is something that expats consistently say was the thing they didn't expect to value as much as they do. It's not a museum, it's real life, and the people who live here are living it fully. The exterior here is classic Tuscan stone. A village stone house with a courtyard and a large gated garden. This is the visual you imagined when someone said Tuscany. Now here's the twist that makes this one genuinely interesting. What you're buying was originally a single villa that's been converted into 2 vertical units, sharing the same staircase. And according to the listing, it can be reverted back into a single home, though that does require some restoration work. As it stands, the ground floor gives you 2 kitchens and 2 living rooms. The first floor has 4 double bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 with a tub, 1 with a shower, plus a balcony and access to a loft. And the best part is central heating is already installed. That detail sounds small, but it matters enormously in a mountain village. So for $58,000, you're looking at a 4-bedroom stone house at altitude with a gated garden, central heating, a water well, woodland views, and a genuine conversion opportunity back to a single-family villa. This is the kind of property where you drive up and immediately understand why someone is selling it for this price. It needs love, yes, but the structure, the setting, and the bones are all there. Now, quick breath of Tuscany, because between these deals, let me just say, this part of the Lucchesia and Garfagnana region gets proper 4 seasons. The roads are decent, there are local markets year-round, and the expat community here is small enough that you'd actually feel like you live in Italy, not in a foreign enclave. It's not a museum, it's real life. And with that in mind, Property 4, and this one comes with something the others didn't. 55,000 euros, $64,900, And we're in Pianacci, a hamlet in the municipality of Villa Colombina, still in the province of Lucca, still deep in the Garfagnana. And if you don't know this area yet, let me fill you in quickly because it matters. Villa Colombina and its scattered hamlets occupy a steep, forested valley in the upper Garfagnana, where the Eserullo stream cuts through chestnut-covered slopes and the views from the higher ground stretch across multiple mountain ridges in a way that stops you mid-sentence. The local building tradition is pure Apennine stone. Heavy, honest, built without decoration, and exactly right for the landscape. And the hamlets here have that rare quality of feeling genuinely inhabited, rather than frozen or abandoned. Summers here are cool and green. Winters bring proper snow to the higher elevations, and the agricultural calendar still drives a lot of daily life, which means local markets, seasonal food, and a connection to the land that's very real. The roads into the valley are narrow but paved and passable year-round, and the municipality has been quiet enough, for long enough, that prices have stayed at a level that feels almost anachronistic by Italian standards. For anyone who has spent time in the Garfagnana, the name Villa Colombina carries a very specific kind of appeal. Remote, but not isolated. Traditional, but not frozen. And spectacularly beautiful in a way that photographs don't fully capture. The property is 125 square meters and about 1,345 square feet on 2 levels, 4 rooms, 3 large bedrooms, a living room with a fireplace, an eat-in kitchen, and a bathroom. Quadruple exposure again, so you're getting light all day. But here's what sets this one apart from the first few. Outside, there's a private garden, actual green space around the house, plus a separate annex that the listing describes as usable for storage or potentially convertible into a guest house. Independent entrance, parking, panoramic mountain views described in the listing as breathtaking. This is a renovation project? That's clear, but the layout is already logical, the setting is genuinely dramatic, and the extra annex creates a second unit possibility that you just don't get in most properties at this price. For someone thinking about a vacation rental or a multi-generational setup, that annex is the quiet reason this listing made the cut. And the best part is the privacy. Independent entrance, your own parking, a garden, a guest house ready annex, mountain views at $64,000. I'll be honest, the next one surprised me when I found it because it's technically the most expensive so far and somehow feels like the biggest leap in value. 69,000 euros, $81,400. And now we're in Lopeglia, municipality of Pescaglia, still in the Lucca province, and this one plays by completely different rules. Pescaglia is a gentle, forested municipality on the southern slopes of the Apuan Alps, sitting in that sweet spot between the raw mountain landscape of the upper Garfagnana and the softer, more cultivated lowlands around the city of Lucca. It's close enough to feel connected to civilization, quiet enough to feel genuinely apart from it. The landscape here is layered. Olive groves on the lower slopes, chestnut woods climbing toward the ridgeline, and in between, small hamlets with stone houses that have been producing food and sheltering families for generations. The light in the late afternoons turns that particular dense Tuscan gold that makes everything look slightly unreal, and the air carries the smell of olive trees and wood smoke in a way that is very hard to describe, but very easy to want. Lopeglia specifically sits at a comfortable altitude, sheltered from the worst of the winter winds, but elevated enough to avoid the summer heat of the valley floor, which makes the climate here about as pleasant as rural Italy gets across all 4 seasons. The proximity to Lucca, one of the best preserved medieval walled cities in the world, means you're not trading urban access for rural peace. You're genuinely getting both: infrastructure, restaurants, an international airport in Pisa, less than an hour away. And then you come home to this. What you're looking at here is described in the listing as a stone structure of approximately 110 square meters, about 1,184 square feet, on 2 floors, free on all 4 sides. But here's the thing, It comes with an enclosed garden of about 2,500 square meters, well over half an acre of private enclosed land with olive trees already growing on it. In the listing notes, the possibility of building a swimming pool within that space. Now, the building itself currently has an approved project for change of intended use to residential, which means the paperwork to turn this into a proper home is already in motion, according to the listing. The planned layout under that project would give you a ground floor with a kitchen, living room, bathroom, bedroom, a wardrobe room, and a large porch. And the first floor would have 2 further bedrooms each with their own private bathroom. Near a bus stop, over half an acre of olive tree land, an approved conversion project, pool potential, and Tuscany views for $81,000. That's the kicker. That's the reason it's on this list. And if you think that's strong, wait, because property 6 is where I start telling people not to click away, because the next 2 are the ones people ask me about the most. 75,000 euros, $88,500. And we're in Capannori, and this one shifts the energy completely. Capannori is a large, prosperous municipality that wraps around the medieval walled city of Lucca on the Tuscan plain, and it is one of those places that functions as a genuinely complete community rather than a satellite or a dormitory. There are schools, shops, restaurants, markets, and a social fabric that has been intact for centuries. The architecture here is a mix of traditional Tuscan townhouses and rural stone farmhouses, denser and more urban in character than the mountain properties we've been looking at, with the kind of streetscape that tells you real people have been living real lives here for a very long time. The climate on the Lucca plain is proper Tuscany. Hot summers, mild winters, long springs and autumns that are frankly some of the best weather in Europe. And the flat terrain means cycling is a genuine transport option, not just a leisure activity. Lucca itself is walkable from parts of Capannori, and the city offers everything from opera performances to weekly farmers markets to a hospital, a university, and a train station, with regular services to Florence and Pisa. The Pisa International Airport is roughly 30 minutes away by car, which makes this one of the more internationally accessible locations on this entire list. For anyone who wants the Tuscan lifestyle without genuinely moving to the middle of nowhere, Capannori is the honest answer. And at this price point, it's a conversation worth having. The property here is a 3-level townhouse, right in the center of its village, free on 2 sides with a private courtyard of 70 square meters, roughly 753 square feet, ground floor, living room, eat-in kitchen, bathroom, first floor, sleeping area with 2 double bedrooms and double exposure, top floor, a large attic that the listing suggests can become a 3rd bedroom or a relaxation space, and then 80 square meters of 2-level garage, plus an additional 30 square meter garage. That's 110 square meters of garage and storage space included in the deal. The property needs renovation. The listing is clear about that, but 75,000 euros for a 3-level townhouse with city proximity, a 70 square meter private courtyard, and what amounts to a serious amount of additional garage and storage space is a combination you don't see often at this price point in a town that actually functions as a real place to live year-round, that actually move into quality. The town, the neighbors, the market, the road to Lucca, that's baked in here in a way the mountain properties can't offer, and that's exactly why the last one on this list hits differently, because Property 7 is not in Tuscany proper, and that's the twist. 75,000 euros. The same $88,500. But now we've crossed a regional border into the Camino Valley, in the Abruzzo, Lazio, and Molise National Park. And what you get here is something that genuinely has no equivalent on this list. The Camino Valley sits in one of the most dramatically beautiful and least visited corridors of central Italy, a deep limestone valley flanked by Apennine peaks, where the national park protects a landscape that looks almost entirely untouched by the modern world. The villages here are medieval in the truest sense, not restored for tourists, not curated for Instagram, just genuinely old, built from the local pale stone, and sitting on hilltops the way they have for 1,000 years. The climate is mountain continental with cold, snowy winters and summers that are warm but never oppressive. And the air quality in this part of the national park is genuinely some of the cleanest in Italy. Architecturally, the area is defined by exposed stone construction, thick walls, small windows, vaulted ground floors that were originally used for animals and storage and now read as the most characterful living spaces you've ever seen. The national park status means strict limits on development, which is simultaneously why the landscape is so extraordinary and why properties here are still priced the way they are. San Donato Valdicomino, the municipality where this property sits, is a small, proud hilltop town with a functioning community, a weekly market, and the kind of slow, deliberate pace of life that you either deeply want or you don't. And if you do want it, there's almost nowhere in Italy that offers it this completely. This is an authentic exposed stone house. And when I say exposed stone, I mean it in the best possible way, with commanding panoramic views, positioned on a hilltop within one of Italy's most protected natural parks. 2 floors, connected by an internal staircase, 5 rooms total, 3 bedrooms on the ground floor and 2 rooms on the upper floor. The ground floor rooms are described in the listing as having a cave-like atmosphere with original stone vaults, actual medieval architecture that's part of the living space. Now here's the full picture of what comes with this. Approximately 6,000 square meters of land. That's about 64,583 square feet, well over an acre and a half, an olive grove with around 110 trees, a small vineyard and a working well, productive land, olive oil, wine grapes, your own water source, attached to a stone house inside a national park for $88,000. The property needs a complete renovation. The listing is direct about that, but the land, the grove, the vineyard, the vault ceilings, the views, that is not a combination you can manufacture. You either find it or you don't. And this is the one that people read twice because it sounds like something you discover once in a decade. It's not a museum, it's real life. And for someone who wants to build a country residence, a tourist accommodation, or just the most interesting possible life for under $90,000, this is the one that keeps coming back to mind. So let's quickly call it Best Raw Project for the Money. Property 1 in Mulazana. Best Land Deal, Property 5 in Pescalia, with that half-acre plus olive garden and pool potential. Best Town Life Value, Property 6 in Capannori, with the garage space and city proximity. Most extraordinary find overall. Property 7, the Stone House, with the olive grove, the vineyard, and the vaulted ceilings inside a national park. Now tell me in the comments, which one would you actually pick? The mountain villa with central heating, the half-acre olive garden, the townhouse close to Lucca, or the stone house in the national park with its own working grove? I'm reading every single one. And if you want the next region, subscribe, because the next list goes even further and the prices don't go up.